spirits and liquors. Vodka. Vodka is defined as a neutral flavored clear spirit. That means that vodka is supposed to be virtually tasteless, odorless and clear like water in color. Vodka does have very subtle flavors between brands. Some may taste peppery, some creamy, others have hints of citrus. Our brands include Smirnoff, Absolut, Grey Goose, Belvedere, J.J. Whitley. Gin. Gin is a clear spirit and mixes well with other ingredients. What makes gin different is that it is flavored with various botanicals, berries, spices, bark, roots, flower, bits of vegetation to give gin its distinct taste. For gin to be gin, it needs to be distilled from grains or malt, and it must be flavored with juniper berry. It can also be flavored with other botanicals. All categories of gin have to be bottled at a minimum of 37.5. Our brands include Gordon's Mermaid, Whitley Neal, Tanqueray, Beefeater, Bombay Sapphire. Whiskey. Whiskey is a spirit that's distilled from fermented grains. It is agitated in wooden barrels for a period of time after distillation. The wooden barrels impart flavors, aromas, and color onto the whiskey. It is spelt differently depending on where it comes from. Whiskey, Scotch. Comes from Scotland and is made from malted barley. It must come from Scotland to be a Scotch. It is aged in wooden barrels in Scotland for a minimum of 3 years. Our brands include Teachers, Grants, Famous Grouse, and Aberdeen or Apper. Whiskey, Irish Whiskey. Comes from Ireland. It can be made from malted or unmalted barley. It must be aged for a minimum of 3 years for it to be called whiskey. Irish whiskey is made to be cleaner and smoother with less flavor than Scotch. Our brands include Jameson's, Whiskey Bourbon, must contain a minimum of 50 tons corn in the mash. It must spend some time in new charred oak barrels. It must be distilled to an ABV of no more than 80, generally bottled at around 40 after aging. Corn gives whiskey a sweeter taste and smoother texture. Our brands include Jack Daniel's, Southern Comfort, Whiskey, American Rye Whiskey, must contain a minimum of 51 rye in the mash. It must spend some time in new charred oak barrels. It must be distilled to an ABV of no more than 80, generally bottled at around 40 after aging. Rye gives whiskey a peppery taste. Rum. Rum is a spirit distilled from sugarcane or molasses, a thick dark brown juice, obtained from raw sugar. Rum is often made in the Caribbean. Rum is often aged in wooden barrels and matures quicker than whiskey because of the warmer climate. There are 4 styles of rum. White rums, clear and have the least flavor Bacardi, medium-bodied dark rum. Fuller in flavor, golden color, full-bodied dark rum, generally darker, well-aged in wooden barrels, spiced rums. Rums that have been flavored with various spices, Morgan spiced rum. Brandy. Brandy is a distilled fruit beverage. Most brandy is made by distilling fermented grapes. The French are best known for their brandy. Cognac grape brandy, Armagnac grape brandy, Calvados apple brandy. Our brands include Courvoisier, Hennessy, Stay Remo XO, tequila, also. Tequila is made from distilling blue agave juice from the blue agave plant that's native to Mexico. For it to be called tequila, it must come from the tequila region in Mexico. There are two main classifications, Mixto and 100 Blue Agave. Mixto is made from a mash with no less than 51 of the blue agave plant. 100 AJ of tequila and is the best quality tequila on the market, and it must be made from 100 blue agave. It has 5 categories: Blanco, Joven Cold, Reposado, Rested in Spanish, Anejo and Extra Anejo. Anejo and aged for a minimum of 1 year and is gold in color. Extra Anejo is considered the best quality tequila and must be aged for a minimum of 3 years. Vermouth is a fortified aromatized wine. Fortification means that the wine has been fortified in terms of alcohol content by adding a liquor to it. In the case of Vermouth brandy, has been used to fortify the wine up to around the 20-25 ABV mark. Aromatization is the process of flavoring the wine by infusing it with various herbs, spices, roots, bark, and flowers. There are 2 styles of vermouth: sweet Italian vermouth, dry French vermouth. Spirits and liquors. Vodka.